Hi, good morning. If you watched the last video, then you will know we've been talking about the mutual dreams of codependence and addiction. I call them dreams because they really are involuntary alterations of ordinary reality, and they're separate from other people's reality while they're going on. And this makes it very confusing both for other people and for the people who are caught in them. I also call them dreams because they are the result not just of some simple sort of problem that people have, but they're connected to the deepest needs and perhaps dreams of the human race. Dreams that we try to talk about in all sorts of ways, dreams that weave themselves in the womb around the baby's needs for attachment and attunement. Attunement, you know, is being on the same tune, being understood so that when you call, someone answers. And resonance also has something to do with vibrating at the same level. You know, this whole business, too, is very interesting in how it connects with all of our emotional experience, you know, because depression appears to be rooted in the experience of helplessness or being ineffectual. That is, when you ask for something, they bring the wrong thing, or they don't answer, or you don't get what you need. And so attunement, resonance, and deep connection, the need for it, and for attachment, are woven around the deepest parts of what it means to be a human being and what it means to have a sense of oneself. And these are all snared in the entrapment of the deep dreams of addiction. I really do think that they are like an invisible net woven at the very deepest level of our being with the frustration of our deepest needs, perhaps. You know, sort of beginning when we needed attunement and didn't receive it for whatever reason. This can happen for all sorts of reasons. It can happen when a baby's born because they have birth trauma, or because their mother is ill, or she has something going on, or some serious problems. There are lots of ways this happens. Abuse, of course, is one of the horrible ways this happens. But in any case, it is very, very important not to underestimate the true depth of what we're talking about when we're talking about the deep needs of addiction, because what addiction really amounts to with people is being grabbed by the very deepest needs you have in yourself and also in connection with other people. And so in talking about the deep dreams of addiction and codependence, it can help one so much to understand that one is in the deep dream, and that the whole experience of being out of control, as unpleasant and miserable as that is true. It's especially true if one thinks it isn't true, and it's especially true if one feels guilty for it, or feels like, wow, I'm just making this worse, and why can't I stop? And I must be a weak person or a selfish person. These are all misunderstandings of the depth of what's really happening to people. And so one of the reasons for talking to you about this is to help you if you're caught in one of these. And also to encourage people who criticize other people who are to back off, to lay off, because really you don't know what you're talking about. Because what you're talking about is that people are caught in something they can't see, and understanding can help them. Criticism really can't. But there is a total desperation in being caught in something like this. And that sense is made much worse by criticism, and also by an oversimplified map. I think that the experience of codependence needs to be understood as involuntary as the experience of addiction. It's involuntary because the deep needs that are reflected in codependence are needs for attachment and connection, particularly with people you love. And as that becomes more and more desperate, it grabs the body, it grabs the mind, it wakes you up in the middle of the night. Not the person who is addicted, although that person may give you a call in the middle of the night and get the whole thing going. But these dreams, they happen while you're sleeping, while you're waking. there's a kind of vigilance that happens to codependents that is with them all the time, you know. And now, of course, they always carry their cell phones just to make sure that they can be there if the person who is addicted needs help. And you know what? The person who's addicted often does need help because the net they're caught in can take them down for good. The problem is that if you don't understand the net and you think you are the net, and then you try to loosen the net and it gets tighter, and you try to tighten the net and it gets tighter, and your net gets tighter and everything gets tighter, then you feel it in your body. It's in every part of your body. This is no simple thing. It's a hard thing. And that's why understanding this can also help people be able to understand those big, broad 12 steps and why they really have worked for so many people. Unfortunately, some people in 12-step programs define those too much and, you know, figure that their understanding of what the first step means or what a higher power might mean is really a way to limit and fill those steps up with debris, really, of other people's opinion, and then the people who need them can't get on. But you can push all that debris aside and look at that first step and understand that that first step is only found in despair, really. It's not good news to find out you're helpless unless you understand that it's the truth. And when you have that, when you get that, and when you involuntarily accept that and everything goes limp, then things clear up. And sometimes the dream loosens. The dream loosens. You're not just doing this. You're in it. If you know that, you can relax. And sometimes you can cut your way out or find your way out or reach out to a higher power. Because one thing that is for sure is that addiction is a higher power than the human ego. And a higher power from all of our efforts to understand it. And maybe that's why a higher power is just anything that gets you out of the idea that you have control of it. However, you can have control of yourself if you know what you're up against. Sometimes you can get loose. Thanks a lot. Stop by again.